Hello and welcome to another episode of my Facts and Glitches series, where I continue to showcase more of what I've learned about GTA 5 from my almost 13,000 hours of playing the game and from my awesome viewers. I previously covered an interesting launch glitch in GTA 5, but a better way to do it has been found, although it is still only possible on PC and requires an FPS limiting program. You just need to lock your FPS to 15, enter first person, walk forward, jump, and then press R whilst removing your FPS limit with a hotkey. Obviously you can't do this in GTA Online as you can't ragdoll on command, and the best use this has in speedrunning is currently at the start of triathlons. How far you go does depend on your FPS, and unfortunately you do take damage when you land, so you can't just spam it, but it is still cool. The street dealers in GTA Online must be keeping the best drugs for themselves, as they are literally in. It doesn't matter if you hit them with your car, explode them, or burn them. The game is very inconsistent with whether or not gas tanks can be blown up with melee. The green, the red, and the white traditionally cannot be blown up, regardless of how many hits you do, but this grey tank, near the ammunition in Cypress Flats, can not only be destroyed, but it even requires only one hit. This is also the same with the longer orange tanks, although you usually need to stand on something. The mission Fame or Shame has an interesting quirk. While Trevor and Michael are chasing down Lazlow, there is a special cinematic camera that you can switch to that gives you a unique second camera from Lazlow's point of view. He has a lot of unique voice lines that you usually can't hear because you're too far away.
They wouldn't kill a celebrity, would they? It's not legal! You pissed off the wrong hillbilly now, Lazlow. You knew it happened one day. I'm about to die because of a TV show that nobody watches anymore. Don't die on me now, my sexy little environmentally friendly geisha car. Stupid foreign piece of shit! What was I thinking, buying a hybrid? For my image? A piece of shit! If my agent doesn't renegotiate after this shit, he is fired! Told those asshats we needed more security.
Oddly, he only has voice lines for the first half of the pursuit. He stops talking when he gets to the train tracks. Maybe Rockstar didn't think it was worth the effort. These lights at the railway crossing in Sandy Shores are hilariously broken. Apparently the light bulbs tether the poles to reality. Shooting the stationary missiles at the military base actually activates them. Shooting one of the outer missiles works as you would expect. The start of the mission Trevor Phillip Enterprises has a fairly memorable cutscene, but it has a detail that basically everyone misses.
Trevor, you're still banned.
What about these two?
Whoever wins gets banned.
He's one. Ban him.
I can't ban him. He's my goddamn husband.
He's young enough to be your son.
Ain't the internet a beautiful thing, honey?
Most don't recognize that the husband that Trevor saves is actually the same guy you meet during the Border Patrol side missions, Joseph.
Hey, придави документы.
What?
Паспорт давай, ебарь, мам.
I don't fucking understand you.
А, да ты по-английски не шаришь. Что за хуйня с тобой? Я говорю, паспорт покажи. Все вы нелегалы как один. Ты под гражданским арестом, ты понял? Америка — страна возможностей, а я воспользуюсь возможностью послать тебя обратно через границу, откуда ты приперся.
What?
Very good, Joseph. Real fine. We form the Civil Border Patrol.
Understandably, in the main cutscene, you're not really paying much attention to what the husband looks like, so you forget his appearance by the time you get to the side mission. Did you know there's an outdoor TV at this location in Los Santos? It has a broken hitbox, in that you're able to walk up to it, but you are trapped once you do so. You can of course jump and then ragdoll to get out in single player, but in online, you'd have to use an up and atomizer or teleport somewhere. If you light yourself on fire while holding a gas canister, the gas canister will explode. There is a very obscure speedrun strat in GTA 5 called property warping. You first get in a car, then get out of it and buy a property. You then reacquire your car and then destroy it before going into a mission. The next time you fail that mission, you'll be warped back with your previous vehicle to the property that you purchased. Crystal Maze is the only mission this is known to work for, but it does save a whole minute of travel to the O'Neill's place in many different speedruns. On the mission by the book, Steve instructs us to assassinate someone at a party. We first drive to an incorrect address
No way that's your guy.
before going to the correct location to get ready with a sniper rifle. The rest of the mission sees us trying to figure out which of the partygoers at the house is the correct target. It turns out that if you skip going to the incorrect address and just go to the party location first, the house is surprisingly entirely deserted. There isn't much of interest, which isn't surprising as you can't normally access this building's interior at any time outside of this mission. When you're done exploring, you can of course get back in your car, go to the incorrect address, and then come back to find all the guests have magically arrived while you were gone. You may have also wondered where all the guests go after you assassinate your targets. It turns out there are 2 locations that they run to as a group, and they just despawn when they get there.
The hell? That was the guy. I had a feeling. That was the guy. I had a feeling. He'll check out.
At the end of the Polito Score heist, the gang runs through a chicken factory, with Michael and Trevor being locked to a slow movement speed due to their heavy armor. It turns out there's a way to remove this movement cap. If you light either character on fire, they will get up and run uncontrollably for a few seconds before you regain control, but now with the ability to run at normal movement speed. You still keep the benefits of the increased health that the armor gives you, but it no longer slows you down. While it is a neat trick, it isn't particularly useful in speedrunning, as you can just have normal movement speed by using Franklin in this section. It is more risky because he doesn't have any armor, but you don't lose time from needing to burn your character. At the Maze Bank fountain, you can throw Molotovs without it being affected by the water. However, you can't light a trail of gasoline. You would think this would be consistent for all fountains, but in the FIB fountain, you can throw a Molotov as before, but you can also light a trail of gasoline. It's possible the difference relates to the depth of the water, as the deeper fountain outside the golf club is resistant to Molotovs as well as gasoline. Honestly, it would be better if the water impacted the fire in all cases. I am sure you all remember using Franklin to shoot the gas tank on the mission repossession, seeing it explode in all its glory after one shot. But you might not realize that Franklin's bullets are apparently magic, as this tank would not explode if shot by anyone else's bullets, regardless of how much they fire into it. The fire on vehicle wreckages is very strange, as while the main body of the vehicle will light you on fire, anything that falls off the vehicle won't. Take for example this car door, it's clearly on fire, but Franklin remains unharmed. It doesn't even have to be a car, as can be shown with the tail of a helicopter. While it may be on fire, your character doesn't care. Another fun fact is that due to C4 not exploding other C4 when activated, you can chain them to make these vehicle parts fly. You can phase into small cars if you place them in front of the billboards that you can spray graffiti on in GTA Online. This is surprisingly really easy to do, and they could easily fix it, as this does not happen with larger cars as they just get removed. If you take a car with a broken window through the car wash, your clothes will get wet. Cars that shoot flames out of their exhaust can light gasoline trails. During the various heists throughout GTA 5, you have the option to pick different crew members, but it is often very subtle exactly what benefits you get for picking a more experienced crew member over an inexperienced one. Take for example the subtle big score heist and the hacker you pick to help you escape by changing traffic lights. You can pick Christian or Paige for help, with Paige taking a 5% greater cut. When compared, it would seem as though the only difference between the two is that Christian has a slight delay in changing the traffic lights. There is however another difference. With Paige, you are able to look through the cameras at the intersections, and so you can see your armored vans drive through. This has absolutely no value as far as I can tell, and most people don't even know you can do it. Given that we are stealing $200 million, I think 5% is a pretty steep price for this difference. The first side mission with Cletus, Target Practice, has the most generous checkpoints in the entire game. When you complete his first task of shooting the satellites, you'd normally have to go to your car, wait for Cletus, drive down the road, and enter the building to set up for the next task. But it turns out that after you complete the first task, it gives you a checkpoint at the next task. This means that if you mission fail, you just spawn at your destination, skipping the travel. It is exactly the same with the second task of shooting the tires. Once you complete the task, you can either take a long slow walk with Cletus to the next task, or you can just mission fail and get warped to the checkpoint which is at the next task. Whether or not this was an error on Rockstar's part is debatable, but the code at least for these waypoints is kind of strange. If you look at the code for this mission, the checkpoints are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5, having no checkpoint 4. Those more in the know may have already made this connection, but this error is one of the reasons why this mission is used for the setup of the on mission 0 skip. It uniquely enables us to progress to a very late checkpoint far faster than any other side mission, and then we use the on mission 0 skip to copy this checkpoint progress to another mission. During the mission Legal Trouble, while you're chasing Molly, there are 2 set pieces where time is slowed down so you can truly appreciate them. Once the scene ends, it removes the slowdown effect and puts you back into normal speed. A small detail is that it technically removes any slowdown effect that is currently applied to you. The only reason this distinction matters is because when you hold down the character swap wheel, technically it slows down your game. This means that if you hold down the character swap wheel while in one of these scenes, when it ends, the slowdown effect from the character swap wheel will also be removed. The result is that you can play at normal speed while having the visual effect of the character swap wheel permanently on. Obviously this is pretty useless and just lasts till the end of the scene, but I doubt many people know this.
He wants to kill me! He wants to kill me!
The mission Derailed effectively has 3 different cutscenes that you have to skip through before you can start the mission, and skipping through takes 7 seconds. Speedrunners, however, can skip through faster. With very good timing, it is possible to blow yourself up just as you hit the yellow dot for the mission, but before the mission actually starts. This then spawns you in the mission after the cutscenes. You can hypothetically do this for any mission, but the biggest time save with this trick is on the mission Father-Son. On this mission, normally we watch an intro cutscene of Michael slowly walking into his home, followed by the time of day changing, before we can skip the cutscene, run to Amanda's car, and wait for Franklin to get in. Doing the same trick skips all of this as it spawns us at the first checkpoint, which just so happens to be in Amanda's car with Franklin. The setup mission sidetrack for the obvious big score heist can be started with any of the main characters. However, something odd happens if you do the first part with Franklin, which involves changing the tracks for the train. As expected, a little bit later, the game forces you to switch to Trevor.
Hey, the train's stopping. What's your situation?
I am ready for takeoff. I got the go-ahead. Hey, I'm gonna make sure this driver's out of here and the cars are loose, alright?
From this point on, it's meant to just be Franklin and Trevor completing the rest of the tasks for the mission. As Trevor, you can even leave the helicopter and go see Franklin, who is standing there as a lookout. But something strange happens specifically after you pick up and drop off the train. At this point, when you mission fail, the game will wrongly assume you started the mission with Michael, and so will replace Franklin with him.
I'll have a little word with the conductor and unhook the couplings for you.
Not only will you hear Michael's voice lines in your ear,
Looking good.
but you can even find Michael where Franklin should be, with Franklin nowhere to be found. Quite an odd oversight. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. If you think you know of anything that would be of interest to this series, feel free to add it to my Discord. I hope you're all doing well.